Nothing is more powerful than a surrendered life in the hands of God. The cure for pain is in the pain. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Every story is us. The same wind that uproots trees makes the grass shine. The lonely wind loves the weakness and lowness of grasses, never brag of being strong. Your heart knows the way, run in that direction. When you feel a peaceful joy, that's when you are near truth. In your light, I learn to love. If light is in your heart, you will find your way home. If everything around you seems dark, look again, you may be the light. And it is also possible that Saadat Hassan dies, but Monto remains. If you find my story is dirty, the society you are living in is dirty. With my stories, I only expose the truth. To those men who say that women are good families must come into the world of cinema, I have this question. What is it that you mean by good? A woman who honestly puts her wares on display and sells them without an intention to cheat is such a woman not virtuous. I feel like I'm always the one tearing everything up and forever seeing it back together. War has brought inflation even to the graveyard. A man remains a man no matter how poor his intellect. A woman, even if she were to deviate for one instance from the role given to her by men, is branded a whore. There is no need to kill someone. Just end their hope and they will die every day. Literature is a symptom of the state of a society. For me, remembrance of things past has always been a waste of time. And what's the point of tears? I don't know. I have always been focused in today. Yesterday and tomorrow hold no interest for me. What had to happen did, and what will happen will. If you cannot bear these stories, then the society is unbearable. Who am I to remove the clothes of this society, which itself is naked? I don't even try to cover it because it is not my job. That's the job of dressmakers. Tears come from the heart and not from the brain. Art is never finished, only abandoned. Poor is the pupil who doesn't surpass his master. Listen 100 times, ponder 1,000 times, speak once. The human foot is a masterpiece of engineering and a work of art. The wisest is the one who can forgive. If the judge is against you, you should withdraw the complaint. Falls are thick where love is thin. If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you will fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not money. What a terrible era in which idiots govern the blind. Where force rules, justice doesn't exist. You have to balance your passions, not your time. We read the world wrong and say that it deceives us. Once you stop learning, you start dying. Cheaters never prosper. Action achieves more than words. Don't give explanation to anyone. Everyone understands only what they want to understand. Age is a matter of feeling, not of years. When you feel grateful, you become great and eventually attract great things. No man is free who is not master of himself. The nose doesn't smell the rotting head. Don't fear except of your own sins, and don't hold out hope except in God. Don't bargain for fish which are still in the water. Beware of the naked man who offers you clothes. Surrender to God. When you surrender, God steps in for you and takes charge. By surrendering, automatically the onus of your happiness and well-being shifts on God. Surrender opens the door to receiving. Sell your cleverness and buy bewilderment. Cleverness is mere opinion. Bewilderment is intuition. Never lose hope, my heart. Miracles dwell in the invisible. If the whole world turns against you, keep your eyes on the friend. Deep in your hearts, the light of heaven is shining. The only lasting beauty is the beauty of the heart. Love is the whole thing. We are only pieces. When you seek love with all your heart, you shall find its echoes in the universe. You and I will be together till the universe dissolves. Your heart knows the way. Run in that direction. These pains you feel are messengers. Listen to them. Let silence be the art you practice. In silence there is eloquence. Stop weaving and see how the pattern improves. Your whole life was a frantic running from silence. Move outside the tangle of fear thinking. Live in silence. This silence, this moment, every moment, if it is genuinely inside you, brings what you need. The sun casts light on things, and through that light it is possible to see. The purpose of light is to see. Life is a balance of holding on and letting go. You were born with wings. Why prefer to crawl through life? Live life as if everything is reached in your favor. You are not just a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. If you are irritated by every rub, how will your mirror be polished? Whenever they rebuild an old building, they must first of all destroy the old one. Stop acting so small. You are the universe in ecstatic motion. When you feel a peaceful joy, that's when you are near the truth. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. Love calls everywhere and always. We are skybound. Are you coming? You have to keep breaking your heart until it opens. Life is a balance between holding on and letting go. Blinding ignorance does mislead us. Oh, wretched mortals, open your eyes. Obstacles cannot crush me. Every obstacle yields to stone resolve. Study without desire spoils the memory and it retains nothing that it takes in. Why does the eye see more clearly when asleep than the imagination when awake? I have been impressed with the urgency of doing. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Being willing is not enough. We must do. The acquisition of knowledge is always of use to the intellect because it may thus drive out useless things and retain the good. Nothing can be loved or hated unless it is first understood. Nothing strengthens authority so much as silence. Learning is the only thing the mind never exhausts, never fears, and never regrets. Learning never exhausts the mind. Where the spirit doesn't work with the hand, there is no art. To develop a complete mind, study the science of art, study the art of science, learn how to see, realize that everything connects to everything else. Music cannot be called otherwise than the sister of painting, for she is dependent upon hearing a sense second to sight, and her harmony is composed of the union of its proportional parts, sounded simultaneously, rising and falling in one or more harmonic rhythms. There are three classes of people: those who see when they are shown, those who don't see. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. The greatest deception men suffer is from their own opinions. Learn how to see, realize that everything connects to everything else. All our knowledge has its origins in our perceptions. Art is never finished, only abandoned. Learning never exhausts the mind. Why does the eye see more clearly when asleep than the imagination when awake? Painting is concerned with all the 10 attributes of sight, which are darkness, light, solidity and color, form and position, distance and propinquity, motion and rest. Why does the eye see more clearly when asleep than the imagination when awake? The greatest deception men suffer is from their own opinions. All our knowledge has its origins in our perceptions. Poor is the pupil who doesn't surpass his master. Nothing can be loved or hated unless it is first understood. Experience is a truer guide than the words of others. All power is within you. You can do anything and everything. We are what our thoughts have made us, so take care about what you think. Words are secondary, thoughts leave, they travel far. The highest manifestation of strength is to keep ourselves calm and on our own feet. God is not to be reached by the weak. Never be weak. You must be strong. You have infinite strength within you. How else will you conquer anything? How else will you come to God? Do one thing at a time, and while doing it, put your whole soul into it to the exclusion of all else. An atheist can be charitable but not religious, but the religious man must be charitable. One's ounce of practice is worth 1,000 pounds of theory. Give up the small for the infinite. Give up the small enjoyments for infinite bliss. If I love myself despite my infinite faults, how can I hate anyone at the glimpse of a few faults? The greatest religion is to be true to your own nature. Have faith in yourselves. Arise, awake, and stop not until the goal is achieved. Who is helping you? Don't forget them. Who is loving you? Don't hate them. Who is believing you? Don't cheat them. Talk to yourself once in a day, otherwise you may miss meeting an intelligent person in this world. The power of concentration is the only key to the treasure house of knowledge. You cannot believe in God until you believe in yourself. Anything that makes you weak physically, intellectually, and spiritually, reject as poison. A little ahead was a shop burnt in their eyes. A man now sat inside with two large slabs of ice on the floor. A thought came to me. At last, the poor shop has the chance to cool itself. Talk to yourself once in a day, otherwise, you may miss meeting an intelligent person in this world. The greatest sin is to think that you are weak. If a man has to make a woman the center of his love, why should he integrate animality into this sacred human emotion? Is love incomplete without it? Is love the name of physical exercise? To tell you the truth, the world seemed full of sad people, those who slept on the uncovered stools of shops, as well as those who lived in high-rise mansions. The man who walks about on foot worries that he doesn't have decent shoes to wear. The man who rides the automobile frets that he doesn't have the latest model car. Every man's complaint is valid in its own way. Every man's wish is legitimate in its own right. I wondered why people consider escapism so bad, even the escapism on display right then. At first, it might appear unseemly, but in the end, its lack of pretension gives it its own sort of beauty. The leaders of the whole world cannot change you if you don't dare to change yourself. Obstacles cannot bend me. Every obstacle leads to effort. I have been impressed with the urgency of doing. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Being willing is not enough. We must do. I love those who can smile in trouble, who can gather strength from distress, and grow brave by reflection. This is the business of little minds to shrink, but they whose heart is firm and whose conscience approves their conduct will pursue their principles until death. Wisdom is the daughter of experience. All our knowledge has its origins in our perceptions. Obstacles cannot bend me. Every obstacle yields to effort. The smallest feline is a masterpiece. The greatest deception men suffer is from their own opinion. There are three classes of people: those who see when they are shown, those who don't see. Why does the eye see more clearly when asleep than the imagination when awake? Every truth is not good to be told. Luck helps the audacious. Mistakes are always forgivable if one has the courage to admit them. You have to look after well, but knowledge looks after you. Pain and suffering are always inevitable for a large intelligence and a deep heart. The really great men must, I think, have great sadness in the heart. Some people create their own storms and then get mad when it rains. Men are not made from easy victories, but based on great defeats. Never make a decision in anger and never make a promise in happiness. If it doesn't open, it's not your door. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. The goat's business is not the sheep's business. If your stress is caused by dunya, your zikr is la ilaha illallah, for it brings to mind that there is nothing worth fearing or adoring but Allah. A woman can hide her love for 40 years, but she cannot hide her hatred for more than an hour. And if the eyes of a woman cry over a man that oppressed her, then the angels will curse him with every step he walks. not the one who has pious company, but the one who is pious when alone. Nothing hurts a good soul and a kind heart more than to live amongst people who cannot understand it. Don't take someone's silence as his pride. Perhaps he is busy fighting with himself. No matter how much snow may fall, it will be gone by summertime. Strategy is better than strength. He who refuses to obey cannot command.